Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. The Thursday, June 25th, 2026 meeting of the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors will now come to order. This meeting is live streaming in our County Legislative Information Center. And for those in the gallery, you also have our agenda right there on the banner for you. We'll start with our first Vice Chair, Steve Shea, to go over our housekeeping rules.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Thursday, June 25th, 2026 meeting of the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors will come to order. This meeting is live streamed in the County Legislative Information Center. Click, and the link for that website is included at the top of today's agenda. Housekeeping rules for those attending virtually. Use video at all times to ensure quorum. Keep microphones muted and only unmute when addressing the board. Use the hand-raising function when you wish to be recognized. Keep this function alive until you've been called upon. Avoid using the chat function. Make sure you're visible on screen in a bright location. If you lose connection, close your team window and restart Teams from the calendar invite. For those attending in person, please raise your hand when you wish to be recognized. Make sure to keep your microphone turned off until you are called upon to speak. Please turn your microphone off once you are done speaking. Please turn your microphone on when you are voting to ensure that members attending virtually and the public can hear you. Should you choose to have the Teams meeting open on your device, make sure to mute your microphone and turn your speakers all the way down. And for all supervisors, please maintain a sense of decorum during the floor debate on all items throughout today's meeting. Under our rules, supervisors should ask the chair for permission to exit the meeting under a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, First Vice Chair Shea. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Alexander.
Excuse for the remainder of the meeting.
Belinsky. Here. Capriolo.
Here.
Cox-Jones.
Excuse for the remainder of the meeting.
Ekblad.
Here.
Gomez Tom.
Here.
Johnson Jr.
Here.
Logsdon.
Present.
Martin.
Excuse for the remainder of the meeting.
Martinez.
Here.
O'Connor.
Here.
Rolland.
Here.
Roundtree Jr.
Present.
Shea.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Vincent.
Present.
Wasserman. Here. Madam Chairwoman.
Presente. 15 members present. We have a quorum.
Madam.
Yep, I'll go ahead and we're usually led by our second vice chair, but I'll go ahead and invite members and our guests to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. As we observe Pride Month, let's reflect on how each of us can create a workplace and community where we all feel seen, valued, and empowered to be our authentic selves.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is presentations by supervisors.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Supervisor Roundtree.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Madam Chairwoman, I raise to ask unanimous consent to suspend the rules and take up county board citations at this time.
Thank you, Supervisor Roundtree. Moves that we move up citations and certificates to the top of today's agenda. Hearing no objection, so ordered. We are now on citations and certificates. Supervisor Roundtree, you have the floor, so you can come forward. Just want to find out what number that is. And that is number 33 on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, today I am
especially privileged to be able to present two dynamic young men with these citations on behalf of our board for outstanding contributions to our community. They are two young individuals who are taking the mantle of being young and African American in this city and taking it to a new level. They have taken what they wanted to do and created businesses out of them. They have taken the pride of their families and carried them on their backs and just created new things to be able to look at and give our youth and our community something positive to look at. So I won't belabor the point. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Jaden Boyce and his family and Jamarion Swimes. Am I saying that right? Swims up to the podium to receive these citations. But before you do, I will read them just briefly. Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors, where Jaden Boyce and Jamarion Swims, ages 15 and 16 respectively, have demonstrated vision, courage, and relentless work ethic, building thriving businesses and writing new chapters in the story of the north side of Milwaukee youth through leadership and entrepreneurship. And whereas Jaden Boyce, a student of Dr. Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy, has demonstrated excellence in both academics and entrepreneurship, closing out the school year with a strong grade point average and transforming rejection from traditional employment opportunities into the creation of Ball and Bullies Grooming, which provides a wide range of dog grooming services. And whereas Jamarion Swims, a student of Bradley Tech High School, recognized a community need and turned a household chore into a successful business by founding Bark Clean Yard Services, a pet waste removal company that is growing its clientele base throughout Milwaukee North Side with quality, integrity, and affordability. And whereas Jaden Boyce and Jamarion Swims connected online after recognizing the parallels in their business and chose to collaborate by sharing contacts, goals, advice, and support while promoting each other's work. And whereas Jaden Boyce and Jamarion Swims have grown their client base while balancing the demands of high school and serving as positive examples of leadership, resilience, and youth entrepreneurship in Milwaukee, now, therefore, be it resolved, the members of the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors on the motion of Supervisor Levan D. Roundtree Jr., along with Supervisors Justin Belinsky, Sky Z. Capriolo, Priscilla E. Cogs-Jones, Jack Ekblatt, Caroline Gomez-Tom, Willie Johnson Jr., Patty Logston, Felicia A. Martin, Juan Miguel Martinez, Ann O'Connor, Sean Rowland, Stephen Shea, Steve F. Taylor, Kathleen Vincent, Sheldon A. Wasserman, and Chairwoman Marcelia Nicholson Bovell do hereby commend Jaden Boyce and Jamarion Swims for their entrepreneurial achievements, collaborative spirit, and the commitment to serving as positive representatives of Milwaukee's youth. Thank you and welcome Jamarion Swims and Jaden Boyce.
Thank you, Supervisor Roundtree. So we are still on County Board citations located on page 28 of the digest. This is item 33. Are there any corrections or additions? Supervisor Vincent.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I would like to be added as a co-sponsor to Supervisor O'Connor's citation for Lake Bluff Elementary School. I was missed on that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Of course. Hearing no objection, so order. Any other corrections or additions to the listing of citations and certificates? Seeing none, First Vice Chair Shea moves that these be adopted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, say no. All right, our listing of citations and certificates is adopted. Mr. Clerk?
Madam Chairwoman, the next order is presentations.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Pride Month.
Yeah. Happy Pride Month, everyone. So we will have a presentation coordinated by our own Supervisor Sean Rowland. You have the floor.
All right. Good afternoon. Happy Pride.
Woo.
Thank you, Chairwoman Nicholson, fellow supervisors, honored guests, and members of the public. Each June, Pride Month gives us an opportunity to celebrate the history, resilience, achievements, and contributions of the LGBTQ+ individuals and communities. It is also a time to recognize those who continue to work the work of building a more welcoming, inclusive, and equitable future for all of us. And just as an aside, at a time when a local nearby government is preventing kids from playing a song with no lyrics about an LGBTQ leader with no lyrics, these events matter. And I'm glad to live in a county that is welcoming, inclusive, and celebrating everyone. Without further ado, let's get into it. The honorees we recognize today represent many different paths of service, from education and public health to the arts, business, advocacy, history, and community development. But they all share a common commitment to uplifting others and creating spaces where others feel seen, valued, and respected. On behalf of the County Board, it is my privilege to help recognize these outstanding individuals and organizations whose leadership and dedication have strengthened communities throughout Milwaukee County. We'll begin with honorees from District 3, and I would like to invite my colleague, Supervisor Sheldon Wasserman, to come forward and present his citations.
First of all, I want to thank Supervisor Sean Rowland, who organized this event today and really brought the importance of this event before all of us today. And so he gets a lot of appreciation from myself and others. With that, I'd like to invite Bill Wardlow from Fluid Bar to come up. It is my honor to recognize Bill Wardlow, owner of the Fluid Bar for nearly 3 decades. Fluid has been the welcoming fixture in Milwaukee's LGBTQ+ community and one of Walker's Point's most enduring gathering places. Through his leadership and commitment to creating an inclusive environment for all, Bill has helped preserve an important chapter of Milwaukee's LGBTQ+ history while building community. Let's give Bill a round of applause.
Bill,
Well,
don't go anywhere. You can stand over here.
all right. Yes, do it.
I'll help you out.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman. I next would like to invite Roche Guadalupe from Style Pop Cafe forward. Roche. It is my pleasure to recognize Roche Guadalupe, founder of Style Pop Cafe. Through her creativity, entrepreneurship, dedication to community, Roche has created an affirming space where residents can connect, collaborate, and create their authentic selves. Her work uplifting LGBTQ+ artists, entrepreneurs, and community members has helped foster belonging and opportunity throughout Milwaukee. She turned a small food truck into an incredible business. And if you haven't been to her brick and mortar store in Walker's Point, you have to go. The coffee is amazing. Let's give Roche a round of applause. Next, I'd like to introduce and invite Matthew Lewis up front. Welcome, man. It's you. All right. Matthew Lewis, it is my pleasure to recognize you. Through Ubuntu Research and Evaluation, Matthew has advanced community-centered research and engagement that ensures diverse voices are heard and represented. His commitment to equity and meaningful community partnerships continues to strengthen organizations and communities throughout Milwaukee County. Please join me in recognizing Matthew Lewis. At this point, I'd like to call up Supervisor Sean Rowland to take it from here.
All right. I'd like to invite Dr. Justin Roby with Diverse and Resilient to come forward. No. Is it Roby? Oh, okay. Well, great. With Carmen, excuse me. I am honored to recognize Dr. Justin Roby, a respected educator, nonprofit leader, advocate, and mentor. Dr. Roby has dedicated more than 2 decades to advancing public health, youth development, education, and LGBTQ+ leadership. His service has touched countless lives throughout Wisconsin and continues to inspire future generations of leaders. Let's hear it for Dr. Justin Roby. All right, Jonathan, come forward. It is my pleasure to recognize Jonathan Farrow, Director of Communications for the Office of Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. Throughout his career in public service communications, Jonathan has worked to strengthen public engagement, increase access to government, and support initiatives that promote equity and inclusion. His commitment to visibility, outreach, and community engagement has helped to foster stronger connections between local government and LGBTQ+ residents throughout Milwaukee County. Thank you for all you do. Congratulations. All right, Richie Martin, come on up if you're here. Or, yeah. All right, Richie has sent delegates. Busy at work. So it is my privilege to recognize Richie T. Martin and the Milwaukee LGBT Community Center. For nearly 3 decades, the center has served as a cornerstone of support, advocacy, education, and community for LGBTQ+ residents throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Under Richie's leadership, the organization continues to provide vital resources and affirming spaces that improve the lives of countless individuals and families. Please join me in recognizing Richie, colleagues, and the Milwaukee LGBT Community Center. All right, then I'd like to bring Marcus Wise with Pop forward. All right, I am honored to recognize Marcus Wise, owner of Pop. Through his vision and dedication, Marcus has transformed a long vacant building into a vibrant gathering space where queer visibility, artistic expression, and community connection thrive. Pop has quickly become an important part of Milwaukee's LGBTQ community and cultural landscape. If you haven't seen some of his artwork, you absolutely have to get down there. I'm also a big fan, separately, of the Drag Bingo. So please join me in congratulating and recognizing Marcus Wise. Next, I'd like to invite Ricardo Wynn. It is my pleasure to recognize Ricardo Wynn. Through his leadership with the Wisconsin LGBTQ History Project and numerous community organizations, Ricardo has dedicated himself to preserving LGBTQ+ history, advancing public health, empowering future leaders, and strengthening Milwaukee's ballroom community. His impact continues to be felt across Wisconsin and throughout Milwaukee County. Ricardo, may your impact continue to be legendary. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Congratulations. Next, I would like to invite up Chairwoman Nicholson.
All right, thank you so much, Supervisor. I'd like to invite up Victor Hernandez. Victor is one of our very own. If you've had any of the delicious food at Antigua, located downstairs, he has served for 10 years Antigua restaurant with Sutlali. So I'm so honored to honor you today. As said, he's devoted the past 10 years to the restaurant. He has earned a reputation for culinary excellence, exceptional customer care, and unwavering dedication to those that he serves. It serves as a welcoming gathering place downstairs within the county courthouse. As you know, we have jurors that come in, lawyers, community residents, and it helps to reflect on a longstanding commitment to excellence embodied by Antigua Restaurant Group. They have the most delicious food. We didn't put that in here, but it is outstanding. You are a valued member of the team within the Milwaukee County Courthouse. You provide high-quality dining experience, and you contribute to a very inviting and professional environment. You've gained admiration and respect of colleagues and patrons through your professionalism, your creativity, and your dedication to excellence. Victor is a proud member of the LGBTQ+ community whose authenticity, integrity, and leadership inspires others while promoting inclusion, dignity, and respect that strengthen Milwaukee County. We are so proud of your meaningful and lasting contributions, and you have a beautiful saying, which is, no hay cocina sin amor, which means there is no kitchen without love, and we couldn't agree more. Thank you for everything that you do, Victor.
All right. Next, I would like to recognize Our Voice Milwaukee on behalf of Supervisor Priscilla Cogs-Jones. Thank you. Supervisor couldn't be here due to a death in the family. I know that she wishes she could be here to do this, but I'll do my best Priscilla Cogs-Jones impression. It is my pleasure. Well, I should. No, I'll just be me. She's her, I'll be me. All right. So it is my pleasure to recognize Our Voice Milwaukee. For 15 seasons, this remarkable organization has brought people together through the power of music, creating opportunities for LGBTQ+ individuals and allies to connect, celebrate, and build community. Through performances, outreach, and advocacy, Our Voice Milwaukee has enriched countless lives while advancing visibility, acceptance, and understanding throughout Milwaukee County. Let's give them a round of applause. Finally, I would like to invite Supervisor Capriola.
Okay, do we have anyone here from the iconic house of Mizrahi? Come on up. Thank you for being here. And are you representative as well? Come on over. Anyone who's part of the iconic house should be here. I was afraid I was going to have to do a little ballroom dancing on my own, but now everyone's got a partner here, so this is awesome. Okay, the iconic. Oh, it's not? Oh. It's not tango? No, okay. Yes. Apparently, I need to get an education up close and personal. Okay, so it's my honor to recognize the iconic House of Mizrahi, the Milwaukee chapter. In my research, this is a group that started in New York City, so it's great to have representation here in Milwaukee. Rooted in the rich history of ballroom culture, the House of Mizrahi has become a powerful source of mentorship, support, artistic expression, and community for LGBTQ+ youth and adults throughout Milwaukee. Through its leadership and commitment to empowerment, it continues to create affirming spaces where people can thrive, build confidence, and find belonging. Truly something we need more of every day, everywhere. So thank you for your work. Let's give it up to the iconic House of Mizrahi.
All right, congratulations again to all of today's honorees. Your leadership, service, and advocacy, creativity, commitment to community continue to make Milwaukee County stronger, and we can't thank you enough. To all of our honorees and guests, please join us for a quick reception in room 201, if you're able to join us. One last departing remark. As you entered the courthouse today, or as you leave this afternoon, you may have seen the intersex flag flying proudly outside. It serves as a visible reminder of Milwaukee County's commitment to recognizing, affirming, and celebrating the full diversity of our community and ensuring that everyone knows they belong here. So please join me in congratulating everybody, and let's do a picture. You want to come up here? Also, if you're able to join us for food, the chairwoman has told me that the carpet has just been cleaned, so please don't eat in here. Oh, the hallway is great. Thank you. I said it too, and I was like,
Supervisor Shea asks unanimous consent to temporary recess. Hearing no objections, so ordered. 30 minutes. 30 minutes, no food in the boardroom. Mr. Clerk, we'll start with the roll. Yeah.
Supervisor Belinsky.
Here.
Capriolo.
Here.
Ekblad. Here. Gomez-Sam.
Presente.
Johnson Jr. Here. Logsden.
Present.
Martinez.
Here.
O'Connor.
Here.
Rolland.
Here we go.
Roundtree Jr.
Present.
Shea.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Vincent.
Present.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Presente. 15 members present. We have a quorum. Mr. Clerk?
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is presentations of petitions and communications.
We are on presentation of petitions and communications on page 2 of the digest. There's one item, file number 26-1. First, Vice Chair Shea moves these be received and placed on file. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. The listing of summons and complaints is received and placed on file,
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is notice of claims.
which is on page 3 of the digest, file number 26-2. First Chair Shea asks consent to suspend any rules interfering. Hearing no objection, so ordered. First Vice Chair Shea moves disallowance All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. The listing of notice of claims is disallowed.
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is files referred to standing committees.
Also on page 3 of the digest, file number 26-3 is files referred to standing committees. First Vice Chair Shea moves that these be received and placed on file. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. The listing of files referred to standing committees is received and placed on file.
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is correction and approval of the Journal of Proceedings from Thursday, May 28th, 2026.
Which is on page 4 of the digest, item 26-4. First Vice Chair Shea moves adoption. All those in favor of adopting, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. The Journal of Proceedings is adopted.
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is resolutions and ordinances by and from standing committees, beginning with the Committee on Finance.
All right. So our report of the Committee on Finance is on page 5 of the digest. There's 11 items, 5 through 15. Please note that 8, 12, 13, and 15 require a 2/3 vote of members elect. Supervisor Taylor asks unanimous consent to suspend any rules interfering with items 5, 6, and 7. Hearing Supervisor Taylor?
If we ask for a holdout, 10 and 12.
Okay, yeah, one moment. Rules are suspended, and we have called out for separate action, item 10 and item 12. Any other requests for separate action? Item 10 and item 12 have been called out. Going once, going twice. Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll on the balance of the report.
Question is adoption of the balance of the committee report. Supervisor Belinsky.
Aye.
Capriolo.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logston.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
Aye.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shea.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. 15 ayes, 0 noes. The balance is adopted. Mr. Clerk, please read into the record item 10.
Item 10, file number 26-482, from the County Executive appointing Nicholas Sinram to the Director of Milwaukee County's Office of Strategy, Budget, and Performance for a 4-year term. This item was recommended for confirmation at committee.
Any discussion on item 10? Supervisor Belinsky.
Thank you. This is a tough one for me. As a strong supporter of public schools, as someone who used to work at MPS for 3.5 years, you know, I have a great deal of respect for what the project that they're trying to do over there. Unfortunately, you know, there were some really serious financial problems over at MPS during the time that Mr. Sinram was working there in the budget office. And none of those problems were really fixed under his watch. And so I feel like it's sort of irresponsible for us to say, well, you didn't fix the problem where you were, now come fix our problem. You know, we're talking about $16 million in state aid that had to be withheld because they were years late on simple financial reports. We're talking $46 million overspent in the most recent budget, requiring 263 staff cuts, including over 100, you know, about 150 in buildings, you know, people working directly with students. And in January, when Mr. Sinram signed the report with, you know, the superintendent and another staffer over there, they said things you might have to do to close the deficit. They might have to look at contracts. They might have to look at a hiring freeze. They might have to look at a travel freeze. They might have to limit overtime. They might have to change their textbook adoptions. Nowhere in that presentation did it say there'd be staff cuts. 2 months later, Mr. Sinram's over here, and they're announcing 263 layoffs, and they wouldn't even tell the union where those layoffs were going to be. I'm worried that that is what he's going to be asked to do here. That we're going to be looking for ways to lay off more county staff because we're investing all of our property tax dollars in capital projects, and we're not investing enough in services. And, you know, I think certainly he means well. he hasn't shown a track record of someone who can turn around a tough budget and make it better, and that's exactly what we need here, is someone who has had a proven track record of turning things around and making them better. We need someone who is proven in that role, and I just don't think he's there. I talked to people on the school board. I talked to people who are teachers at MPS. They both had different reasons for thinking, I think he means well. I think he's a nice guy. I don't think he's right for this role, and I respect that. And I can't in good conscience vote for this appointment knowing that if something goes wrong, we're going to be the ones taking the blame. And the county taxpayers are the ones that are going to be feeling the brunt of what happens. And so, I wish him luck. I have a feeling I know how the vote's going to go, but I just can't in good conscience vote to confirm given all the, the issues I mentioned.
Thank you. Supervisor Johnson, followed by Supervisor Martinez.
Thank you, Chairwoman Nicholson. I read in some places that Mr. Simran had a superior person to whom he reported, and that person left. With all that was going on with MPS, that person left. We have to keep in mind, just as we're the legislative arm of Milwaukee County government, the legislative arm of the Milwaukee Public School System is made up of board directors. And there was a problem as it relates to the finances. There was some trouble with communication back with the state, back and forth. And with respect to that deficit, I wouldn't put it on him. That is to say, I wouldn't put it on Mr. Shimron, because for whatever he was trying to do, I believe, what was in the best interest of the Milwaukee Public Schools. It wasn't as if he left and was looking for a job at MPS, and it just so happens that he applied for this job or was contacted with respect to this particular job. And I think, I know I'm going to vote for him, vote for this appointment, confirm this appointment, because again, there were layers of people between him and the superintendent. The old superintendent is gone. That old superintendent had some responsibility with respect to what happened at MPS when Mr. Simran was there. So I'm going to vote for the appointment, vote to confirm. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor. Thank you, Supervisor Johnson, Jr. Supervisor Martinez, followed by Rowland and Capriola.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I voted yes in committee to appoint Director Sinram because I very much liked what I heard from him. And then, of course, I was conferring with other supervisors. And then the letters of recommendation that we got were just what set me and said, yes, he would be a good person to have. And he's like Supervisor Belinsky said, he's a great guy. He's really easy to talk to. And I had a meeting with him and I talked about our budget priorities, but we have to remember that the budget is something that everybody is looking at the county for directly. And I'm not saying he wouldn't do a good job. I'm just saying that when things go wrong, if they go wrong here, it's not necessarily Director Sinram that's going to take the brunt of that. It's going to be us as the county. We've got a lot as the county board. We have a lot of hits under our belt right now for things that have not been going exactly the way they should be. And I honestly am going to change my vote to no, because I want us to be very careful and I want us to think about this. And as a county board, we have to remember that we're the ones that are looked at and it's not anybody else. We're the elected officials. So I'm just going to say, I'm just clarifying why I'm changing my vote from when it was in finance. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Supervisor Rowland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So coming into this, I was very skeptical. I know when this came out in the news, I think I had several conversations with other supervisors being like, what is this? This is complicated, and I need to learn a lot more about this. I need to understand why the administration would put this person forward, because there's a lot of question marks in my mind. But That doesn't mean we should judge a book by its cover, right? We should learn about an individual, ask questions, do due diligence, and understand for ourselves who this person is, what are they about, what do other people say about them. And one of the most, I know Supervisor Martinez brought up, letters of endorsement that we've received from different people. The most important one I think we got was from the interim CFO, Todd Gray. He was brought in from Waukesha Public Schools. He's not an MPS guy. He lives out in the suburbs. He's retired now. He has no stake in Milwaukee County or MPS. He's out. So to me, I see him as a credible messenger to us as to what Nick is about and what he has done. And let me just read some of what we've got from him. I am writing on behalf of Nick to support his hire as budget director. To that end, as part of his role, I had worked directly and often with Nick in his role as budget director. I found him to be very professional, hardworking, and with great understanding of what needed to be done to help turn around the financial chaos that had occurred in the district that year. Nick had the presence and foresight to be one of the first directors to embrace the needed plan to change in the district's accounting system to match the state's Wisconsin uniform financial accounting requirement. Nick also created an incredibly impressive and transparent district budget that received accolades from various media sources. Given the opportunity, I would have no reservations to hire Nick Sinram to work in my district, although no district now because I am retired. Good for him. He goes on, I don't believe the issue was a budget development issue as much as a spending, accounting, and tracking issue, which are divisions Nick had no control over. Unexpected needs occurred throughout the year, problems arise, et cetera, et cetera. You can create the world's best budget, but if the spenders don't adhere to it, it goes into deficit. This is what's happening in other districts in Wisconsin, not just MPS. And he goes on and says, I hope this helped, and I think that Nick would be a strong addition to Milwaukee County. Those words matter to me. They're not just like vibes. That's a person who is not an MPS person that worked with him in some of the hardest times that MPS has gone through and trusts him to not just in that experience, but trusts him to join us. So to me, that's enough for me to vote yes, and I hope we adopt it today. Thank you.
Supervisor Capriolo, followed by Taylor and Ekblad, and then Vincent.
Thank you very much. I had a similar reaction, I think, to everybody on the floor here when this was announced. Like, this is not a good look. And I said that exact same thing to the county executive's office. I met with Nick Sinram before he even started with the county. I had a list of questions. I had constituents email me and say, do not approve this man. He is from this toxic environment at MPS. And they gave me questions. I sat down with him. We went through every question. I was very blunt. He gave good answers. I came away with some knowledge I didn't have before, which included he wasn't responsible for things that were happening at MPS. He had a very specific job with the budget. He said that there were a lot of reporting gaps where spending and other offices weren't talking to each other. That was the reason why some things didn't get filed. That was the reason for some overspending. He did make suggestions on improvements to get a system together so that those different departments were talking. We all know at our own county that that's an issue. So I left that meeting with a lot more information. I went back to my constituents and said, here's how he answered each one of your questions. And everyone that I talked to that had concerns came back with and said, oh, okay, that makes sense. I also have a level of trust with our county executive's office. They have not betrayed that trust before, so I'm going to give them the trust that they did their due diligence. Finally, he's now been working with us for 2 months, and we've had the ability to talk to multiple other directors and multiple other people that have worked with him, and I have not heard a bad word. So I will be voting in favor of his approval. Thank you.
Supervisor Taylor, followed by Ekblad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I think Nick is a nice guy. I think we're hearing that across the room. We're going to hear more people say he's a likable person. I don't disagree with that. Also, I've heard he's good at answering questions. I mean, when you're asked the same questions over and over and over, you get probably more polished. I probably met with him later in the process of his 2 months here. I have to kind of work with him a little closer than maybe some. So this is not it's maybe a little bit of an awkward vote for me. I'm not going to change my position from finance. I really think, MPS is a very toxic environment. I don't have any confidence in it. I agree with a lot of what my colleague from the 16th had to say, and I respect those that are reaching out to him with those concerns. The one thing I'll disagree with is this is the county executive's appointment. This is not our appointment. We can vote yes or no, okay, but at the end of the day, he made this decision. So where I disagree with some that have said, the county will get blamed or will get blamed. No, the county executive will get blamed if this turns out to be a bad hire. And I hope that this vote, that I'm proven wrong, that, we go through this budget, the next budget, and I'm proven wrong. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. It rarely happens, people, right? We know it rarely happens, but I would love to be proven wrong on this. But I'm not giving him my stamp of approval without going through, without just the optics, the fact that he did not solve a problem. He left a problem, it's still there. He didn't turn it around. So I'm gonna vote no, not because he's not a likable individual, not because he's not intelligent, not because he's great at answering questions. I mean, maybe what's that game show you call up and you dial a friend and you get I'd maybe call him on some. Who wants to be a millionaire? Well, I think we all would like to be a millionaire. But I can tell you also, besides the county exec being blamed, if we make poor financial decisions in the budget and vote on things, then we can be blamed for those as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Ekblad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In thinking about how I was going to vote on this particular appointment, I was a little disturbed by the news coverage. I was a little disturbed by feedback I got from others. I do give Nick and the county exec's office full credit for the transparency, the aggressive transparency. They were eager to put Nick in front of me, to get in touch with me, to answer my questions. It also makes a big difference when I see those letters of recommendation and I hear directly from the county executive staff the degree to which Nick has already won their trust and respect. Those are important factors in my yes vote. But I will say one of the reasons I'm voting yes is that I believe, as a member of this body and as chair of audit committee, that our responsibilities on this appointment do not end after this vote. I'm a huge fan of trust but verify, and my eyes are wide open on the upcoming budgets. We have learned the importance of that responsibility with MCTS, with United Healthcare. We have learned the reality that oversight is one of our most important responsibilities. And while I am going to give Nick my vote to be appointed, he will also be receiving a ton of sunlight from this corner of the room. Thank you.
Supervisor Vincent.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and thank you to my colleagues for all of your input here. I think all of us have done our due diligence in terms of getting to know Nick as a person. I don't know if anyone has not taken the opportunity to meet with him. And I also had a lot of feedback from my constituents right at the beginning of this, like, you've got to be kidding. Then I did look into the references. Todd Gray, as Supervisor Rowland mentioned, was one that stood out to me. Having taught a while back in Waukesha and knowing what hat he wore there, and as you said, he doesn't have all the stake in the game because he doesn't even live in the area. But the references came back really strong. But what I found really good about this whole process is just sitting down with Nick. We didn't get to sit down and interview him, right? Like, as a body, we didn't get to do that and throw questions at him. So he had probably 18 interviews by each of us. I initially was leaning towards not voting for him because of concerns, but then I got to thinking, some comments have been thrown out there about MPS as a whole. I hope people realize that the funding formula for our public schools in Wisconsin is a big part of the problem, why our public schools are failing right now to get their needs met. Some of us in this body actually started our careers in MPS. And I would say for myself, I am very happy that I had that starting point in MPS because it made me able to teach wherever I have taught over the years. It was not an easy circumstance. I was there for 5 years right out of college, and it was a very hard thing. Now, while I wasn't making the budget decisions, I was making the important decisions in the classroom with my students. And I don't think somebody should be villainized or held accountable for a monster that's greater than them. And this whole budgetary thing going on, school districts across the state of Wisconsin right now do not have adequate funding. And to put that on one person who was in a role to make some budgetary decisions along with people above him, as Supervisor Johnson Jr. said, there were people he answered to as well. I am happy with the responses I've had from the questions that my constituents gave me. I also feel, as Supervisor Ekblad mentioned, this isn't a stopping point today. We will continue as a board to hold him accountable for the work we need as a county. But I don't want to see a district like MPS or any district be kind of thrown under the rug like, oh God, they came from there, we can't put our trust in them. I think that would be disingenuous to anyone who has ever stepped foot and tried to serve the community of MPS. It's a very important community to me to this day. Several of our youth commissioners are part of MPS. And I just want to say that, you know, my sitting down with Nick and checking out the references is really what sold me on him. Talking to some of you also and listening even on this floor today. And I can understand the optics that we're all feeling right now. But I'm willing to put my faith behind Mr. Simran and hope that he will continue to stay accountable to us as a board. And so that I will just say I'm going to be giving him my vote yes today. Thank you.
Supervisor Wasserman.
When I first got this, read in the newspaper that we're going to have a budget director from MPS, I'm like, what? I was reading, I think Urban Milwaukee put it out, and I'm like, what are we doing? Who made this? This is nuts. I mean, point blank, this is nuts. Why are we going this route? And, you know, MPS has this taint on it, and the referendum, and then a month afterwards, the whole blows up that they didn't talk about it. So I've been very much negative for a while, and heard from Kyle, who's here today, heard from the county executive, and I heard from other people, and I've talked to my colleagues in this room, and I've been pretty much negative until I went through the references and there was one name that I saw in the reference that I know very well. And you guys can guess what my other job is, and you can kind of figure out where this goes because I want to give her confidentiality. But I had a long conversation with her actually this morning about Nick. And I trust this person. I trust her implicitly. And I was there during some of the most hair-raising moments of her life. And we have an understanding between us. And what she told me was she worked with him directly. She worked in that office. She also talked about what goes on in MPS and how the school board knew what was going on, and the superintendent knew what was going on, and everyone chose not to hear what was being told to them. And everyone put fingers up to everyone else, and they blamed everybody else. But she said that he was good, that he really did raise concerns up. He raised concerns about the accounting methods. He raised concerns. But when your boss doesn't want to listen to you, and your other bosses don't want to listen to you, what do? And he got out because he couldn't stay in a system like that. So here you have an employee who's stuck with your bosses and then your boss's boss, all ignoring what you have to say. That means something. And I think that we've all been in situations in our employment history where you're stuck in the wrong job. and you have the wrong boss, and you're working in the wrong agency. I think that's him. Now, what he doesn't have going for himself is that taint is still there. I give the county executive big kudos for having the courage to say, hey, I want to pick this guy because I think he's the best. He didn't have to go this route. He didn't have to have Kyle work with us for hours on end talking to everyone if he really didn't feel strongly about it. And it takes a lot of courage. He's running for governor, and he's picking a guy that this could be a TV commercial. We all know, we're all politicians in this room. This is a TV commercial. But he went to bat for this guy, and I hope he's the right guy for the job. And at the end of the day, I am going to vote for him. I hope he's the right guy for the job. And it goes back to, I know Supervisor Taylor said it, but it was his pick, the county executive's pick. He's really on the line. We're backing him up. It's his pick. I hope he's good. And so I'm going to vote yes today, and I hope Nick Samaran is as good as everyone says he is. Thank you.
And thank you, Supervisor. Supervisor Gomez-Tom?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So yeah, I had the same opportunities to meet with Mr. Sinram. I do think he's a nice guy. I would be lying to say that I wasn't skeptical going in, so I did my due diligence, which it sounds like a lot of us have, to talk to people, to get feedback, to understand his background as well as what his potential can be. And I'd be lying again if I would say I'm still not skeptical, but at the same time, I have heard loudly that this is the guy, that the county executive and his team and staff here that have worked with him for the last 2 months, they feel confident in going forward with him. And so at this time, I'm willing to do that. I also appreciate some of my colleagues talking about the oversight that is our responsibility moving forward to make sure that we expect good things out of him, that we expect high quality work, especially as it pertains to our budget. But at this point, I'm willing to see how it goes.
Any other discussion on the item? All right. Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
The question is confirmation. Supervisor Belinsky.
No.
Capriolo.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez-Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr. Aye. Logsdon.
Aye.
Martinez.
No.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
Aye.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shea.
Aye.
Taylor.
No.
Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. Twelve ayes, 3 noes. The confirmation is approved. All right. Mr. Clerk, item 12, please.
Item 12, file number 26-500, a resolution authorizing $1,126,580 appropriation transfer from agency 194-1945 appropriation for contingencies to capital improvement project WP 083801 Sheridan Park Bluff Stability for design and permitting expenses. This item was discussed with no action taken at committee.
Any discussion on item 12? Supervisor Shea.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an important resolution. In April, we had yet another major rainstorm, and Sheridan Park had not one but 2 major landslides on its bluffs. And I hope you've seen the drone pictures, because I myself have gone to the bluffs and looked over, but you don't get the full impact unless you've seen the drone photos. Parks has rated multiple sites along the bluffs a grade of F, in addition to the 2 that already suffered the landslides. I'm asking here today for $1.1 million from contingencies for a study on how to protect the bluffs, which will in turn go to FEMA and ask for over $20 million. Now, you may ask, how long is this procedure going to take? Well, just the permitting alone, it takes about a year. And obviously, I can't say for certain when they would act. So probably looking at 2028 for when the actual work would be done. But waiting on this till November, or heaven help us next year, that's just going to make the process even longer. It's not going to accelerate it. It's not going to help anything. So this is our opportunity to protect one of our most beautiful parks. I'm going to be there for the beer garden in a matter of days, and there will be fireworks July 4th. This is a beloved park. It has brought the city of Cudahy together in a manner which has never happened in all the time I've lived there. The mayor says over $8 million in city of Cudahy infrastructure is in danger from further landslides. So I'm asking you today to vote yes on this resolution. Thank you.
Supervisor Ekblad, Supervisor Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My home lies just north of this bluff, and I'm pretty loath to consider any withdrawal from the contingency fund at all. But I think there are two factors that really move me to a yes on this. The first is, as anyone who listened to Parks will know, the residential homes that are close to this bluff are closer than anywhere else in the county. In fact, anywhere else in the county. And two, there is a very real possibility of getting FEMA dollars. But in order to get those FEMA dollars to fix this, we have to have the study. Without the study, there are no FEMA dollars. And so I am prepared to vote yes to remove these funds from contingency because I believe there's a clear path forward. There's a path forward to solve a problem that's effectively and directly threatening homes in Milwaukee County. And I think this is a responsible decision. So I'll be voting yes, and I'd ask my colleagues to do the same. Thank you.
Supervisor Taylor, followed by Supervisor Rowland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So today's vote it's not about whether this should be done or not. To me, it's about the funding and the timeline. I think the timeline really is the key to whether we should spend money out of contingency. But first, let's talk about our budget. On Thursday of last week, we were informed that right now we have a $300,000 surplus. Yes. But that has all $4 million of a contingency not being spent. All right? It's June, the end of June. We still have 6 months to go. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what true emergencies could occur. What we're being asked is to spend $1.1 million, which means sitting like in a month, $800,000 deficit. We don't know what else is going to happen, but it just changes overnight from $300,000 surplus to $800,000 deficit. We're applying for BRIC funding. So if approved, they'll cover $900,000. We're applying for the funding for not just the design, but also, as the supervisor mentioned, for the actual project. And what's the project cost? $23 million. We don't have $23 million lying around. And in fact, even if we get the $23 million, do we have 25% of that, which is what, $6 million that was not planned? That's like it's in the capital project, but it keeps on getting pushed off because why was it pushed off over the last few years? Well, last year was the domes. There's been other projects that have had a higher priority. We can talk about FEMA and the likelihood of getting that money. Did we not have a flood or torrential rains last August? Did we not request $20-some million, the state that we got, that what we would have gotten, what we received, $20 million? FEMA denied it. In April, we've had another torrential downpour, which is when this occurred. We have FEMA request put in. The state does. Will we receive that money? We don't know, but there's a chance. But if you're going on what happened last August, maybe DC isn't being too friendly with us. We talk about the homeowners, okay? You have the bluff. You have probably 50, 60 feet to our Oak Leaf Trail. Then you have green space. Then you have the road. Then you have the homes. The homes are no way going to fall in. No way going to fall in. Now, eventually nature will win. We won't be here, but nature will win this battle one day. And finally, the mayor actually said that in an interview, one of his 5 or 6. But in talking to staff, we're losing on average about 3 feet a year. Well, let's just say that goes up, double it. We'll get to the Oak Leaf Trail in a decade. And no one in here, at least me, is saying let's not do something, okay? So that gets to the timeline. The engineering, the design, the permitting is at least a year and a half. At least a year and a half from start to finish. This project is one that would occur in the more warmer months. So June, July, August, September, October. That's when this type of project would occur. We adopt this now out of, today out of contingency, and we do a year and a half. It's December, maybe January. We're sitting there and we spent this money, and we're not going to be able to start it, and we still have time to see whether we get brick and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to be starting a project in December and January. No, we're not going to be starting a project in December and January. So why don't we put this in the budget in November? You start the process in January, and when does that year and a half come up? June, July, August, September, October, when that project gets done. And that's what I was going to come here and talk about today and just be end of the story, because that makes sense. But I got a call yesterday from staff in Parks Administration saying there's also something you need to be aware of. We can't go to ask to put something in the capital budget until we have 90% completion. Like, we've had that happen where the design, everything's not done. So I was told the earliest that the Parks Administration would even be able to put it in, come before the board, is for the 2029 budget anyway. So this is just, it's premature to be spending it right now. I want to see it done as well, but it shouldn't be out of contingency. It should be out of the regular budget in November. And yes, we can weigh it against everything else that we have in this county, and we can have those debates. We can have it at Capital Improvement Committee, and we can have it on the board floor during budget. But I think we all know that this is a problem. But guess what? Even if we have the design and we're shovel ready, we don't have the money. We just don't have it. So I encourage you to vote no. Keep what contingency dollars are there. We have a half a year to go, and we put it in the budget and get it done in 2029, hopefully.
Supervisor Rowland, followed by Supervisor Johnson Jr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We just had a long conversation about financial responsibility in this room. And if we vote for this, it will put us into deficit for the year. And if we don't end up with a $5 million surplus at the end of the year, there's not a contingency that will carry over into the 2028 budget. Is that right? So if we end this year just at level or in a deficit, there's just no contingency account at all in 2028. So whenever our colleagues, whoever's still here in 2028, they will not have any contingency fund if we don't land the plane with at least a $5 million surplus or some kind of surplus. We'll give them some kind of contingency account, right? So there's big things at play here. And I think what the supervisor brought up is compelling, that yes, this needs to be done, but yes, there's not money this year. Yes, if we vote for this, it will put us into deficit, but we could, and I think we will, as part of the Capital Improvements Committee. I think there's a lot of agreement that, yeah, this should be part of the 2027 budget if that's what we would choose to do. So I think that's a good option, is to commit to putting it in the 2027 budget, and make sure that we end this year with another surplus. We've had 6 years of surpluses, which is great, but it's a track record that's at risk here if we vote for this. All of a sudden, we're in deficit and we're behind. So I think there's time, as the supervisor said, as the Parks Department said. Even if it was moving twice as fast, it won't be here for a decade, even to the trail. So I think putting this into the next year's budget is okay. And no matter what, design now, design then, it sounds like no matter what, shovels aren't hitting the ground until 2029 anyway. So I would urge us to vote no on this and put it in the 2027 budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Shea, are you responding to something or speaking generally?
I am responding. The bluff is at the point where, if you've seen the photo of the bench that's tilted at an inelegant angle, that's not 50, 60 feet from the Oak Leaf Trail. That's like 12 feet from the Oak Leaf Trail. And 10 feet beyond that is the city street. Sarah Toomson said in finance, time is not on our side. This project needs to move forward. I agree completely. Sheridan Park is one of our most beautiful parks, and just waiting for another landslide event isn't going to make this any easier. It's only going to make it that much more difficult and that much more expensive. So I stand by my resolution. I believe this should be voted on today. Let's not wait a half a year. Thank you.
Supervisor Johnson.
Chairwoman Nicholson, there was a bluff study in 2024. The Parks Department asked that in as part of the 2026 budget, that some monies be appropriated for Sheridan Park. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. There were other priorities that the county, the Finance Committee, Capital Improvements Committee thought should go forward, as opposed to this particular one. The mayor testified, the mayor of Cudahy testified in one of the committees, along with some friends of Sheridan Park. And keep in mind, Sheridan Park is our responsibility. Sheridan Park is a county park. And we have no idea what's going to happen as it relates to nature with respect to the rains that have hampered us to the point where even in this county and in other surrounding areas, there has been flooding within the last couple of years or so. Again, the Parks Department in 2025 requested in the county, requested for the 2026 budget that such monies would be appropriated to Sheridan Park, in order to deal with this bluff situation, and such didn't happen. It was just referenced as it relates to Director Sarah Toomson, who is very responsible for planning in the Parks Department. If her idea is that we should do something about it now, I'm very accepting of this. I don't live in Cudahy, but I've seen those pictures to which Supervisor Shea just referred, as relates to that bench, as relates to the wearing away of the bluff within the last few years. So I encourage colleagues to vote for this, because we should do what we can for the constituents in the city of Cudahy. As it relates to our budget, a $300,000 surplus will be looked at this time, or for the rest of the year. Departments are going to have to tell us as to where monies are, particularly the comptroller's office, where they are, and what they are doing with respect to corrective action measures in order to bring deficits down. We have more than a half of a year to deal with that to the end of 2026. So again, I encourage supervisors to vote yes and do what we can because, again, the park is our responsibility. It is a Milwaukee County park, and we are the legislative branch, and we make policy decisions with respect to some things that happen in our county. So thank you very much for your time and your attention. Thank you, Chairwoman Nicholson. Bovell.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this item? Supervisor Belinsky.
Yep, thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'm just going to vote yes on this for the same reason I voted yes on the Bender Park boat launch use of contingency is because it was a safety issue and we're going to do it anyway. We might as well do it as soon as possible.
All right. Seeing no further discussion. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Question adoption. Supervisor Belinsky.
Aye.
Capriolo.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logsdon.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
No.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shea.
Aye.
Taylor.
No.
Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. I counted 12. I counted 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 13 ayes, 2 noes. The item passes. Who's on?
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is the Committee on Personnel.
We are now in the Committee of Personnel. Page 15 of the digest, items 16 and 17 require a 2/3 vote of members elect. Any requests for separate actions, 16 or 17? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk? Oh, thank you so much, yes. On the balance, please, of the report.
Question adoption of the balance of the committee report. Supervisor Belinsky.
Aye.
Capriolo.
Aye.
Ekblad. Aye. Gomez Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logsdon.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
Aye.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shea.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye.
15 ayes, 0 noes.
15 ayes, 0 noes. The balance is adopted.
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is the Committee on Audit.
Which is on page 16 of the digest, item 18. Please read in item 18, Mr. Clerk.
Item 18, file number 26-499 from the Director of Audits, Office of the Comptroller, Audit Services Division, submitting an audit report titled Milwaukee County Transit System Governance. Opportunities for enhanced oversight include additional sunlight, clearly defined roles, and detailed fiscal reporting for the quasi-government entity. This item is recommended for adoption at committee.
Any discussion? Supervisor O'Connor?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'm going to speak to this item because I listened to this with great interest when it came before the Audit Committee, and the main messaging that I took away was more eyes on our transit system would only be beneficial. So for those who have already seen it, you saw that it was a very dense report with a lot of recommendations, but also illuminated a lot of gaps in oversight. So until 2014, the entity was Milwaukee Transport Services, but now we know it as Milwaukee County Transit System with some components that are quasi-governmental. I encourage everyone to take a look at the deck and listen to the meeting But I would also appreciate a lot of insight of my colleagues from Finance and Transportation Committee as well. Some folks who are, subject matter experts. I just think more opportunity for discussion would be really helpful. So as an example, slide number 6 has a list of items, which are pretty important ones, with no public body review. So that's something where we could potentially discuss different roles and responsibilities for keeping eyes on things. Slide number 7 has the major multi-year contracts that are not approved by either MTS or the county board, including the $22.4 million TransDev contract. So I just think we would all benefit from having more discussion. So I would like to propose that this file gets sent to both Transportation and Finance for further insights. Thank you.
Supervisor Taylor?
I would support that. I would think it should go to both, you said both finance and transit? Yeah, or transportation. Yeah, I think that the worst thing we could do is just, audit committee did a wonderful job looking at it, asking questions, a couple of news articles out of that. The worst thing we could possibly do, no different than the healthcare contract, is just say, here you go, and then we forget about it. So I think it needs to go to both committees. I think there's definitely financial concerns, so that's why it should go to finance. I mean, there's 15 recommendations, but when you looked at the audit, decisions weren't even coming to us. They were just making them that probably should have been before us, and we know they should have been before us, and they weren't. So, I like the new director of transportation. I like the new people at MCTS. I think they're doing an outstanding job. So there's new faces there, but one of the responses we haven't, I think it was Director Lamer said, well, we're going to look at all these things. We haven't implemented any yet, which is true, but I think we need to keep this thing going. No different than we keep the healthcare situation going, because if we just shelve it, then we're not doing our jobs.
Supervisor Ekblad?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I do really appreciate the suggestion by my colleague to refer to Transportation and Finance. I think that's a great idea. If you haven't had a chance to watch the Audit Committee meeting yet, the Audit Division of the Comptroller's Office did a great job in this audit. And one of the things they point out is there is a lot of room for improvement in terms of MCTS's governing structure. I'll point out a couple things, just a couple concerns. One, the infrequency and the lack of actual time spent with the MCTS board meeting is a huge concern. They were not reporting investigations from either state bodies or federal bodies. And there were 2 points I think that were raised during audit committee that make this a really good idea to lay over until July. One, both Director Lamers and CEO Mr. Fuentes said that they were already looking at these suggestions. So if we go back to committee with this report and keep asking questions, we're not actually preventing them from working on any of these suggestions. So we're not delaying anything at all. I also have a lot of more follow-up questions. Director Lamers said that there were some things in here that were quote-unquote low-hanging fruit. I would love to know more about that low-hanging fruit and what they're going to do in the near term to start addressing this. And I think more sunlight, more questions, more opportunity for my colleagues to get in is a really good idea. I would 100% support sending this back to Transportation and Finance. Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion on that motion to dual refer back to committee? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk. Clerk Distanis, please call the roll.
Motion is referral. Supervisors Bielinski.
Aye.
Capriola.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logston. Aye. Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rowland.
Aye.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shea.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. And Madam Chair.
Aye. 15 ayes, 0 noes. The item is referred. All right, Mr. Clerk.
Madam Chair, with the next order of business is Committee on Health, Equity, Human Needs, and Strategic Planning.
All right, which is on page 17 of the digest. What are these? 19 is moot, and 23 is moot, so 20 through 22. Any requests for separate action? Any requests for separate action, items 20 through 22? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll on the balance.
On the balance, Supervisors Bielinski,
Aye.
Capriolo,
Aye.
Ekblad,
Aye.
Gomez Tom,
Aye.
Johnson Jr.,
Aye.
Logston,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
O'Connor,
Aye.
Rowland,
Aye.
Roundtree Jr.,
Aye.
Shea,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Vincent,
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. 15 ayes, 0 noes. The balance is adopted. Mr. Clerk?
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is Committee on Judiciary, Law Enforcement, and General Services.
All right, which is located on page 20 of the digest. There are 2 items, 24 and 25. Supervisor Bielinski asks unanimous consent to suspend the rules to consider item 24. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Any requests for separate action, 24 or 25? Supervisor Wasserman? 25 has been called out, so we'll go ahead and take them individually. Mr. Clerk, please read in item 24.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Item 24, file number 26454, report from the Director, Office of Emergency Management, providing an executive summary of the results of the consultation services provided by mission-critical partners regarding the evaluation of the computer-aided dispatch systems in Milwaukee County.
All right, any discussion on item 24? Supervisor Wasserman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank Supervisor Martinez, who worked with
Oh,
this.
Supervisor, we're taking up
Oh, I'm
24
sorry.
first, so.
By ear.
Yep, no, it's okay. We'll go ahead and vote. I didn't see any other speakers on that. There's 2, so we have to take them individually. Okay, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Bielinski,
Aye.
Capriolo,
Aye.
Ekblad,
Aye.
Gomez Tom,
Aye.
Johnson Jr.,
Aye.
Logston,
Aye.
Martinez, O'Connor,
Aye.
Rowland,
Aye.
Roundtree Jr., Shea,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Vincent,
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. 15 ayes, 0 noes. The item is adopted. And then we can read in item 25, Mr. Clerk.
Item 25, file number 26507, a resolution ordinance amending the Milwaukee County Code of General Ordinances, section 63047, graffiti to permit the limited use of chalk on horizontal publicly owned surfaces.
Supervisor Wasserman.
A little quick there. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. First of all, I want to thank Supervisor Martinez, who's worked on this for a while. It went through various iterations of it, but I think you're at a point right now, if you look at chalk nationwide, there's issue of horizontal versus vertical. Putting it in a horizontal fashion, if you're going to have graffiti in a water setting, in an outdoor setting, is a better way than having it vertical. So I want to thank you, Supervisor Martinez, for working with me on that and for him picking up the word horizontal, because I think it makes a more clear definition. One thing I saw in the Committee on JLEGs I just did not like, and I want to say right off the top, is the demonization of the Sheriff's Department. These Sheriff's Departments really work very hard, and I think that we have to be very careful when we are as a board. These people put their lives on the line. I could never be a sheriff's deputy. I could never be a sheriff. I would not do law enforcement. And I think some of the comments about their demonizing them really is the wrong way to do it. I think it's easy to attack them for when they're wrong, but when they're right, they really save our lives. And of course, there's always some bad apples in it. So I just want to clarify that. But as for chalk, let's start talking about chalk, and let's talk about First Amendment rights. When we look at First Amendment rights, I found it very interesting that, because this deals with the big issue in question is Palestinian, pro-Palestinian versus anti-Israel issues, and this is what's being on this bridge. But then if you look at it, you say to yourself, I kind of looked at myself and I said, well, pro-Palestinian, why are they pushing this chalk stuff? Because if you you go to Palestine right now, there are three governments in Palestine. You have Hamas, you have Islamic Jihad, and you have Fatah, or PLO. If you look at their ordinances and you look at their rules, not a single one of them support chalk or graffiti at all. In fact, if you write in chalk, down with Hamas, down with Fatah, do you know what the punishment is in their sections, their country? I looked this up. Cut off your hands. Beat you with metal rods. Rape or murdered. That is what the punishment is if you write in chalk anti-Palestinian statements in Palestinian territories. What country in the entire Mideast allows chalking? There's only one country that allows chalking. Israel. Israel, you can write down with Netanyahu, down with Israel, in their country, and you do not have any punishment. It's totally legal. So I say to myself, this is amazing that we have in Milwaukee pro-Palestinian people supporting a pro-American, pro-Israeli stance. I think this is really good. I think that we should have First Amendment rights where we don't have to worry about being murdered or raped or have their hands chopped off. This is wonderful. These are genocidal policies. When you talk about chalk, it's wrong. But here in Milwaukee, we're going to set an example. So I actually support this. I think it's good. I might not like everything that's written. I mean, I think we're going to see terrible things. People are going to write things. But we live in a country, a free society where we believe in First Amendment. First Amendment comes with a lot of risks. So let us be an example where everyone can come together, support something that's pro-American, pro-Israeli, and we're going to be pro-Palestinian at the same time. So I am definitely voting for this. And when we talk about demonization, we know who does bad things. People who do terrible things against people who write in chalk. But let's move this forward. I'm on board. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. I see Supervisor Martinez's hand up and followed by Supervisor Ekblad.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Okay, so Supervisor Wasserman, I understand your comments. I also want to be very clear that those comments that you heard about the Sheriff's Department, in a way, this resolution is actually pro-sheriff, if you think about it, because what's going on is those people that are writing pro-Palestinian messages, they're not writing it in favor of Hamas. They're not writing in favor of the pro-Islamic Jihad or the third one that you said I didn't hear. But, you know, it's for the people that live in Palestine that don't have anything to do with any of those groups. That's, first of all, I just want to get that out of the way. Second of all, I put this forward because those people are being attacked by people that don't agree with their stance on things, and they're calling the sheriffs out there. And this is where I say that it's kind of pro-sheriff in a way. We're not wasting their resources by sending sheriffs out to the site where they're using chalk to write their messages. The fact that they have to keep going out there because they're getting the calls, I'm sure the sheriffs don't want to respond to that. I'm sure the sheriffs got like more important things to do, but to have to keep responding to those messages and going out there, it's just such a waste of resources for the county. And I've talked about this back and forth with a lot of other people, and I'm not talking about specifically you, Supervisor Wasserman, but you know, saying that it's going to invite hate speech, something like that. But you know, as far as I can see, like it didn't invite people to come and speak hate speech when we took it up in J-Legs. It doesn't invite hate speech wherever hate speech is going to be where it's going to be. I really don't feel that this is something that's going to invite further hate speech into our parks. It's actually just a very silly thing that we actually have to put this forward because there's kids that use the chalk to make hopscotch. They don't get arrested for that. I mean, we're going to see, I don't know, we're going to see like children being rousted by the sheriffs or being thrown on the ground and arrested for drawing on the ground with chalk. I mean, they don't get the sheriffs called on them. This is just like a very simple thing that we can pass to make sure that, yes, freedom of speech is behind it, but it's also just a simple ordinance thing for our parks and for us to be able to keep enjoying our parks the way we should. So And I move approval, I think is what I have to do here. So, yes, I move approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Ekblad, followed by Rowland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to once again thank my colleague, Supervisor Martinez, for working on this. I think it's an incredibly thoughtful resolution. I love the collaboration going on. I appreciate Supervisor Martinez mentioning that those of us speaking in favor of human rights in Palestine are not holding up Fatah or Hamas as paragons of civil rights. I also just want to say that I really enjoyed the conversations I had via email with constituents who really objected to this. And my response was that not only is freedom of speech a constitutional right, but we need to normalize disagreement in this country. We need to normalize dialogue. And so even though I respected their objections, I was going to vote in favor, and I look forward to continued dialogue even when we disagreed. And the responses I got back via email were really, really lovely. It was just a good, healthy conversation, and I hope this resolution facilitates more of those. Thank you.
Supervisor Rowland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will be voting no on this one. And I guess I rise not on some foreign policy topic, but on a park policy topic. And to me, 95% of people, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but in my view, 95% of people want to go to a county park in Milwaukee County to enjoy a little time away, to break free from the platforms and the debates that we already have everywhere in our pockets. Just, it follows us all day. And to me, a county park in Milwaukee County is an opportunity to break free from that a little bit. And to me, this ordinance would convert our county park sidewalks into another platform where this social media vitriol, this side versus that side times every issue can happen. And if there are constituents in our communities that are upset about that, if somebody says something horrific, you know, in advance of Juneteenth in a park or in Pride Month, Black History Month, Women's History Month, literally, like, the First Amendment protects a lot, you guys. A lot of profanity, a lot of, like, words that we would not use in this room, totally protected. And the county parks, all of us, we would not be able to do anything about it. Nothing. So if anybody reached out to us, all we could say is, well, I guess you have a First Amendment right to maybe go cross it off, pour water on it, maybe, and then it's up to them if they want to get constitutional lawyers, they can all constitutional lawyer up and decide what's the right thing. But just want you to know that this creates a huge risk for Milwaukee County and the amount of profanity, you know, negativity on our county park sidewalks. And so I ask that, setting aside foreign policy, like setting aside the issues of today, what do we want our county parks to look like? And are there already enough platforms for this debate elsewhere in our lives, literally everywhere? To me, there are so many other opportunities for people to express themselves and their First Amendment rights. Does a sidewalk in Bayview in the county park settle a foreign policy issue? Is that what's necessary to, you know? I mean, that's what we're talking about here, right? Is that worth giving up just the ability to walk down a sidewalk and not run into 100 really nasty messages? I think that's something to really think about before we vote on this. So I'll be voting no. Thank you.
I see Supervisor Shea, Taylor. Gomez, Tom, did you request, or do you mind getting your microphone off? Yep. Supervisor Shea, and then Logsdon. Shea, Taylor, Logsdon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let's step back just a second here. I don't believe there's any graffiti artists, whether they work in chalk or any other medium, are waiting for us to give them a green light. The reason I support this resolution is I favor free speech. And First Amendment, I think, is increasingly in danger. Matter of fact, one of them was mentioned in our opening ceremony here where a school district forbade a tune played by the band. So, I'm in favor of this resolution. I don't believe it's going to endanger anyone. I can't imagine, fights breaking out over chalk drawings on cement. So I'm going to vote in favor of it, and I believe in the First Amendment. Thank you.
Supervisor Taylor.
I'm going to be brief, Madam Chair. I agree with everything my colleague from the 6th had to say, except for one little change. When the constituents call you and ask you, or ask, what can you do? And you can say, well, we could do nothing, but you should add that the county board changed the ordinance to allow this. That's what you can add. Because I think when we go to parks, we don't want to see this crap. Okay, put it somewhere else. There's plenty of other places to debate these issues, and it shouldn't be there. So I think you have to add that as an error. And we did this.
Supervisor Logston, followed by Supervisor Belinsky.
Thank you, Chairwoman. When I think of chalk, when I first read this resolution, I think of being honored to have a driveway full of beautiful chalk pictures from my kids and now my grandkids. That is what I was thinking. When I read the actual resolution, it said you had to have permission to write on that sidewalk your chalk, and you could only do it in a horizontal fashion. The more that I'm reading about it, and after signing on as a co-sponsor, I'm questioning some of the issues that this might bring about and cause more issues than we think of as far as the county board and the parks. And I was wondering if Corporation Counsel, who already sent us out a brief on this in his recommendation or clarification of this, if you can speak on it a little bit to us right now, the feelings of how this can affect Milwaukee County, if this is maybe not a good choice at this time to do this. If you could do that, please.
Good afternoon, Chairwoman, Supervisor Scott Brown, Corporation Counsel from Milwaukee County. I was asked to opine specifically on the First Amendment issues relating to chalking on the ground in parks. And the opinion I sent you all basically said, if we're going to start having chalk on the ground in parks, we're going to get complaints about it, and we're going to have to decide whether or not to remove it. And when you have to decide whether or not to remove it, you have to do so in what's called a content-neutral base, which means you can't favor one side over another. If one side is favoring, pro law enforcement, the other one's anti-law enforcement, they both have to be treated equally, which puts parks in a position of having to have a policy of how they're going to deal with chalk. To be frank, I haven't spoke with parks at length about how they would operationalize this, but in my memo, I suggest there's 3 ways you can deal with it. Least risky way is just let nature deal with it. The rain will wash it off eventually. Second way is washing off all chalk on a standard schedule, whether that's once a week, whether that's once a month. And then the third way, which I think is probably the most risky way, is do it on a complaint-based, based on complaints. Problem with that is that usually when you get a complaint, it's probably going to be because the person disagrees with the viewpoint of what they're seeing. And which just, again, puts parks in the position of having to figure out what's constitutionally permissible and what's not. And I wouldn't want to put them in that position. And frankly, I don't want to put attorneys in my office in the position of having to make calls on what chalk to wash off and what not to wash off. So there is a risk that, we have to, I don't know if we'll have an explosion of chalking in the parks or not, but when there is political speech there, it is protected, and we have to take the First Amendment into consideration. And political speech is very highly protected by the First Amendment, but hate speech is protected as well. And we have to be ready to reckon with that being on the grounds in our parks, and parks will have to come up with a policy of how they're going to deal with that. So, happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Belinsky.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I wasn't going to speak, but I guess just one clarification here. So currently, chalk is defined as graffiti on the surfaces in the park. So right now, we're in a situation where selective enforcement could be an issue as well, right? So if someone calls to complain about one kind of speech, but then kids are allowed to do hopscotch, technically, we're doing something, we're breaking the law there because we're selectively enforcing a law based on the content, right? So whether we make it legal or illegal, I think it's the same issue, isn't it?
Good afternoon, Chairwoman, Supervisors. So when this issue first came up, I kind of wanted to get a feel for how much is this being enforced. And my understanding, it's not been enforced at all in the past decade or so, or very little, if at all. But yes, if Parks were to hand out a citation, I'm sorry, not Parks, if the Sheriff's Office were to hand out a citation for graffiti, and it was protected speech, there would be risks there that they're violating somebody's First Amendment right. That is correct.
Okay, thanks.
Any other discussion on this item? Okay. Thank you, Scott. Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. Oh, I'm sorry, Supervisor Martinez.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairwoman. I mean, I guess I don't know what else to say. I mean, nature and the parks and people that don't like messages, water bottles. I mean, throw water on it, get rid of it. I mean, I don't know. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no further discussion, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Question is adoption. Supervisor Bielinski.
Aye.
Capriolo.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logston.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
No.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shea.
Aye.
Taylor.
No.
Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. 14. 13, 2. 13 ayes, 2 noes. The item is adopted. Mr. Clerk?
Madam Chairwoman, next order of business is Committee on Parks and Culture.
All right, we have one item. The others are moot. So item 26, page 22 of the digest, so sorry. Mr. Clerk, please read it into the record, please.
Item 26, file number 26517, a resolution updating the composition and quorum standard of the Milwaukee County Cultural, Artistic, and Musical Programming Advisory Council, CAMPAC.
All right, any discussion on the item? Okay. Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Question is adoption. Supervisor Bielinski.
Aye.
Capriolo.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logston.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
Aye.
Roundtree Jr. Aye. Shea.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. 15 ayes, 0 noes. The balance is adopted. Mr. Clerk?
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business Committee on Transportation and Transit with one item in the report.
All right, so we'll go ahead and read that into the record.
Item number 28, file number 26487, from the Director, Department of Transportation, and the Airport Director, Department of Transportation, Airport Division, requesting to amend Section 5622, Sub 6 of the Milwaukee County Code of General Ordinances to provide that no reimbursement to the county shall be required for home-to-work commuting in a clearly marked county fire vehicle assigned to a county fire officer when such use is permitted under applicable federal tax regulations.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
On adoption, Supervisor Bielinski.
Aye.
Capriolo.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logston.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
Aye.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shay.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. And Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. 15 ayes, 0 noes. The item is adopted. Mr. Clerk?
Madam Chairwoman, next order of business is Committee on Community, Environment, and Economic Development.
All right, we are now on the report of SEED. Beginning on page 25 of the digest, there are 3 items. There are 2 items, 30 is moot, so we have 29 and 31. Any requests for separate action, 29 and 31? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll on the balance.
Question is adoptions of the committee report. Supervisors Bielinski.
Aye.
Capriola.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez-Tom. Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logston.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
Aye.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shay.
Aye.
Taylor. Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. 15 ayes, 0 noes. The balance is adopted. Mr. Clerk?
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is Committee on Intergovernmental Relations.
All right, there's one item, 32. Please read item 32 into the record.
Item 32, file number 26515, a resolution condemning the detention of Elvira Benitez Suarez and supporting her ability to remain with her family in the United States.
Thank you. Any discussion? Supervisor Gomez-Tom?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say that I'm glad that Ms. Benita Suarez is at home with her family now, and she was released from detention on a bond, but the federal government is still harassing her and continuing their challenge against her permanent residency, which she has. She's been in the United States for over 25 years with no criminal record, and even though she has been brave enough to share her story with us, there are many other additional people that have also been detained by the federal government, kidnapped, detained, and challenged for their humanhood in our country, even though they are lawfully present, have no criminal records, no criminal background, and this continues to happen here in Milwaukee and in other parts of the state. And so I'm just saying it out loud because this needs to continue to be lifted up as we continue to make sure that our county is a welcoming space for all of our immigrant community members, many in my community as well as throughout Milwaukee County. So thank you.
Supervisor O'Connor?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and thank you to my colleague for bringing this forward. I was able to be at the press conference where Ms. Elvira Benitez Suarez spoke up after her release, and she really just expressed her gratitude, but also talked about the horrific conditions in which she was kept. And she was in alongside with some pregnant women who ultimately miscarried in part due to the conditions that they had to endure. And I also heard the testimony of Mr. Salas-Arsur, who also endured similar conditions with what appears to be the goal of keeping people in conditions where many of them choose to just self-deport. They talked about how extremely cold it was and how they weren't given sufficient blankets or warm clothing. So I'm glad that we are keeping this at the forefront of how we discuss keeping our community members safe. This is not going away, and even though we don't see the visibility that maybe happens in Minneapolis, the federal government still has a deportation goal of 100 million people. They have committed $170 billion to go to ICE and CBP, with another $70 billion proposed. So I think we can sadly expect to see more of this. And as people are brave enough to come forward to share their personal experiences, I want to honor those experiences. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Logston?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I'm going to abstain from this. This, again, is a resolution that is not concerning Milwaukee County. It's a federal ICE regulation, and I have no say over that. Thank you.
Any other discussion on the item? All right. Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Question is adoption. Supervisor Bielinski.
Aye.
Capriolo.
Aye.
Ekblad.
Aye.
Gomez-Tom.
Aye.
Johnson Jr.
Aye.
Logston.
Abstain.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Connor.
Aye.
Rolland.
Aye.
Roundtree Jr.
Aye.
Shea.
Aye.
Taylor. No. Vincent.
Aye.
Wasserman. Madam Chairwoman.
Aye. Yep, 13 ayes, 1 no, 1 abstain. The item is adopted. Okay, next order of business, Mr. Clerk.
Madam Chairwoman, since there are no resolution or ordinances by and from select and special committees, and since your honorable body disposed of county board citations, and seeing no resolution or ordinance are presented under suspension of the rules, next order of business is files not referred to standing committees.
Okay, located on page 29 of the digest, that's item 34, file number 26-6. There are no files listed. First Vice Chair Shea moves. Files not referred be received and placed on file. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed say no. All right, the listing of files not referred is received and placed on file.
Madam Chairwoman, the next order of business is announcements and remarks under special privilege.
All right, we are now on announcements and remarks under special privilege. I just want to start by thanking those who attended and who wanted to attend the amazing Juneteenth parade. I know Supervisor Vincent, you wanted to be there, but had something important to go to. We missed you, but it was an incredible day. The weather was beautiful. The people were happy and joyous, and we truly, I think, celebrated the purpose of the event, which is to honor the freedom of individuals here in our great county and across our nation. I had the opportunity at the opening ceremonies to present a citation on behalf of all of us to Mr. Reuben Hartpole, who served as the Grand Marshal of the parade. He's 91 years old and was moving around like the best of us. And he told me to extend his sincere appreciation for that, because he, in all his 91 years of being a pillar in his community, he had not been honored by the county board. So thank you all for being a part of that, and it was really good to see you all. Any other announcements? We have, she shot up, Capriolo, and then Johnson Jr.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Real quickly, I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported the honor flight that I was on, whether you wrote letters. Thank you to Supervisors Ekblad and O'Connor. Supervisor O'Connor's LA, Jennifer wrote a letter, the county exec provided a letter, our county clerk's office provided a bunch of different letters. Those were all read during mail call on the plane ride coming back home. It's a really emotional, incredible experience. And then the people that were at the airport, it was amazing because we were an hour and a half late, partly because a distracted driver hit our bus right where I was sitting. And I said, that guy's not paying attention. And then he crashed into us. So I really appreciate that. Supervisors Vincent and Martin and Shea all were there and waited the extra hour and a half. So thank you so much to everyone who did that. Also want to thank Fire Chief Doyne for giving us a tour this week of the amazing facility at the airport. If you have not gone out to see it, I highly recommend that you contact him and go out and do it. And then I want to welcome my new LA, Belen. I don't think she's here, but if she's listening, welcome. She's already been fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. I saw Johnson Jr. and Martinez. I do see your hand up.
Chairwoman Nicholson Bovell, with respect to the Juneteenth Day, I did not get to Atkinson at 9 o'clock because I had to go to the Bureau of, had to go to the Division of Milwaukee Child Protective Services to sign a confidential form so that I could participate in a critical incident committee meeting on Monday. So that's why I was not seen. But once I got there, I stood and watched the parade for an hour, about an hour and a half. And I was told that after I stopped watching it, it continued. So I don't know how long that parade was, because I was, as I said, I did not get to where I needed to be at 9 o'clock. And people were saying they believe this is the longest parade that's ever been seen over the 55 years or so. Mm-hmm. Or, yeah, I think 55.
It was 55 years
so,
this year.
I just wanted to say something about that. So next time, maybe most of us can be there participate in the parade, and if we have time, watch the rest of the parade.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they did say, I think they added 100 more units this year to the parade, and they had to turn people away, was how well attended it was. And thank you for lifting it again, because I don't want to forget to thank our incredible staff who helped set us all up, who helped set up the booth, man the booth. It was very popular. And for all of you getting materials there to the booth and stopping by as well. And thank you, Supervisor Rowland, for also supporting getting the parade, as successful as it was with the board. Okay, Martinez, Supervisor Martinez, Shea, O'Connor, Vincent.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I also wanted to be at Juneteenth, but I apologize I couldn't be there. In the middle of honoring Black folk in Pride Month, I think for me, my biggest icon is going to be Little Richard, and I just want to give a shout out to Little Richard in the middle of Pride Month and celebrating Black history. And then the last thing I wanted to say too is happy belated birthday to Justin Belinsky, our Polish prince. That's it.
Thank you, Supervisor. Supervisor Shea.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In 10 days, this nation will celebrate our 250th birthday. I know two of my fellow supervisors, Supervisor Johnson and Supervisor Wasserman, are mature enough, like myself, to remember the bicentennial. It was a big deal at the time. I can still remember CBS bicentennial minutes and the various people who hosted them, and the legendary parade of tall ships up and down the Hudson. On that day, here we are, 50 years after that, and 250 years after our nation's birthday. Benjamin Franklin said, "We must all hang together, or we will all hang separately." Now, he meant that literally, because if the Revolutionary War had been lost, and it almost was on more than one occasion, George Washington wrote letters of despair about the conditions of his army on more than one occasion. All the men who had signed the Declaration would have been hung. We owe a debt of gratitude to not just them, but everyone who has built this country over the last 250 years. And let's not take it for granted. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. O'Connor, followed by Vincent.
Thank you. So,
Sorry, Jack. Sorry, Supervisor Ekblad. I just looked and saw. So we'll let O'Connor go, and then Jack, Supervisor Ekblad, and then
all right,
Vincent.
Thank you. So we've had all these wonderful occasions to celebrate. I really had a great time at Juneteenth and also walking in the Pride Parade. We also have the 250th celebration coming up, which I have to say, as I've educated myself over my lifetime, it's given me a different vantage point to view the 4th of July and how Juneteenth in many ways is significant for freedom for many folks in our country. But I still appreciate what the 4th of July and the ideals of our country, which I think we are still working very hard to achieve. As you know, I'm an entirely suburban district, which gives me plenty of opportunities to walk in parade. So I'd like to invite any of you who feel like they don't have a parade to go to that day to walk with me at either Bayside, where I see Ms. Saltstein frequently, and then I go to Glendale, and then I go to Whitefish Bay and Shorewood. So you've got your pick of different places to join me, and if you want details, just let me know and come help me throw candy. And Fox Point, although theirs is a different day usually, but yeah. But thank you for pointing that out. I'm sure you've had experience in all those areas too. Thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor. Supervisor Ekblad. Again, my apologies.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Spilling my water. I would just like to remind everyone that it is June, which means that the South Shore Farmers Market is officially in full swing. Please come down. It's the best farmers market in the state. Fight me. The food is delicious. We do also have a brand new beach that we completed late last year. And whereas last year's debate was, is the beach open or not? Because people are using it. The beach is absolutely open this year. So please come on down and enjoy that. Just wanted to make a plug for the farmers market. I'm really glad that I only have one parade that I really have to go to. Apologize.
Supervisor Vincent and then Supervisor Logsdon.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And I do want to express my apologies for not making the parade this year for Juneteenth. I was with all of you in spirit. A very close friend, Gene Fueling, who you all co-sponsored a memorial citation for, had passed away. He was 91 years old and a Korean War veteran. I will say our relationship with the honor flight is amazing because his daughter was hoping to find a shirt from the honor flight, and Korean War veterans are very hard to come by nowadays because they're starting to phase out. So they were able to present a shirt so that he was actually buried in that honor flight shirt. But I just want you to know that all of the things that we do together, these parades, Juneteenth Day is an extremely important day, and I regret it not being there this year. I also had shoulder surgery last year, but I've been in it twice. The energy down there, the Pride Parade, is like none other. And just to walk with all of you in these parades in solidarity for the residents we serve, I think is so important. It's just a fun day. Before, during, and after these parades is fun. And I just want to thank you all. And again, on behalf of Gene Fueling's family, I just want to, just in his memory, say that he appreciated, his family appreciated the concern and the outpouring of the citation from this board. Thank you.
Any other announcements or remarks? Supervisor Logsdon.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I just would also like to invite any supervisors that have not been a part of a parade to join my district. I have 4 municipalities. You can pick which one you want. The first one, Elcott Park, is like being up north in a little community. Very short parade, very fun. Then we have Franklin and Greenfield, which are your larger parades. Greenfield has more shade in it than Franklin, but if you're you would rather march in the afternoon, Health Corners has theirs at 3 o'clock, and they have a fantastic small parade, community parade. So if anybody does not have a parade in their municipality, or please, join me. We would love to have you. I've had people come in and march with us in the Franklin parade outside of ours. So the residents love to see all supervisors. Thank you.
I like Pittsburgh a lot. Yeah. Supervisor Gomez-Tom.
All right, I'll end with a happy early birthday to our fearless chairwoman.
Oh, thank you.
So, happy birthday.
It's on Monday, and another year down in the books. But I do want to shout out a couple other birthdays. So happy belated birthday to Brady and our director, Steve Cady. You both just celebrated birthdays this month, so happy birthday. Right? And I just got a text that my dad is tuning in. Today is his birthday. If you don't mind, I love you, Dad. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right. Seeing no other announcements or remarks, Supervisor Roundtree.
Sorry, just real quick. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. Sorry, right? I just wanted to say thank you to everybody on this board. I think I've had conversations with everybody, and everybody has been so welcoming and helping me do everything. And I do want to just leave us with, even if something does not directly affect us in our districts, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So once I love the way we have this camaraderie on this board, like the things I've talked to most of you about and had conversations with most of you about. I love it. I just really want us to make sure that we are doing what we can to make sure that Milwaukee is the healthiest county by achieving racial equity. And again, this board is doing an amazing job at those conversations. I just really want us to keep in mind that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Thank y'all.
Okay.
and happy early birthday.
Thank you. All right, so I want to make sure. Going once, going twice. All right, on adjournment, Supervisor Shea.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move adjournment to Thursday, July 30th, 2026 at noon for the next meeting of the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. This meeting is adjourned.